Escalating privileges on Windows, Meterpreter reverse shells, and staged payloads with the USB Rubber Ducky. All that and more this time on Hak5.
Hello, welcome to Hak5. My name is Darren Kitchen.
I'm Shannon Morse.
It's your weekly dose of Technolust.
Welcome everybody to this awesome episode. I'm super excited about this segment.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. But first off, I did want to remind everybody to stick around until the end of the episode because the entire month of December, including this week, we are giving away a ton of gear from the Hack Shop as, I guess you could say, $100 coupons every single day.
Right, and then the grand prize winner, the ultimate pineapple kit with the $650 worth of gear. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be super, super fun.
And it's fun to like celebrate the fact that our very own Wi-Fi pineapple has been featured in a video game by a pretty cool developer. We love Ubisoft.
Yeah. I guess I kind of skipped the reason why we're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing that because we're in Watch Dogs 2.
It's pretty cool.
And TV
Not
shows
us,
and movies and
Wi-Fi
comic books
pineapple.
now. So yeah,
so
you're
cool.
right. They should put us. Come on, Watch Dogs 3. Get a little Darren snubs
well,
up
the
in
main girl character has like kind of purple hair, so
there you go.
I think she does at
least.
least.
Could be an homage. I don't remember.
She has a thing on her head like all the time.
Yeah, she's stuck at the hackerspace, but then again, I'm not actually playing any of the missions. It's one of those. It's if you're an apathetic gamer, it's one of those where you don't have to do any of the story, so you can pretty much just like screw around San Francisco.
Also, I wanted to mention that we're super, super close to hitting our next goal for ThreatWire on our Patreon.
Hey!
I know!
Congratulations. In fact, everybody stop watching now. Go over to the Hak5 YouTube channel, which you may in fact already be on, and watch ThreatWire because Shannon is killing it.
Yeah, it's so much fun. So I believe this week, if I'm talking about the correct week, we're pre-recording.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing a whole wrap-up of like the biggest hacks of 2016.
Oh.
So wrapping it up because a lot of them were from earlier this year and we might have forgotten about them. So
hey,
it's kind of cool.
Don't miss that one. That sounds like a great episode. Check it out. I'm very excited. You guys have an RSS feed for the audio listeners now on the Patreon.
Yep.
That show is growing. I love it.
Patreon.com/ThreatWire is where you can find all the information on that.
But today I just pulled a Patrick Norton. I'm like,
you did. You just did the thing. You're like, wrap it up.
If you're watching Tech Thing and you have to count every time Patrick Norton does this but doesn't speak. Yeah, and then you just have to comment on YouTube and just be like 7.
Can I tell you something?
12.
Sometimes I'll just keep on talking so that he's standing there like this.
You
and
troll.
I'm like,
You troll so hard. Shannon is the biggest troll.
I'm such a jerk.
In case you're wondering.
I magically got a beer. So anyways, we don't typically talk about 0 days or very recent exploits because in 6 months from now, when you're actually watching this, it'll likely be patched. And then we'll get the comment in the YouTube comments section that's like, this is old. And we'll be like, yes, we recorded it 6 months ago. So yeah, that actually happens quite a bit.
You know what the crazy thing is? Unfortunately, I still remember a lot of those like commands from very early episodes. So like season 1, it's like Windows XP. And it's like netsh firewall set up mode disable, and it's like that doesn't even work anymore. PowerShell.
No, it really doesn't.
I need to go back in time and fix it all with PowerShell. Moving on.
So that said, today we are looking at a very recent privilege escalation or a UAC bypass method because it illustrates nicely a common workflow of Metasploit and something that we are so very, very happy to see again, the USB Rubber Ducky. So, Darren.
Yes.
What is privilege escalation and what is this attack going to do for us as penetration testers?
Right, so the concept is, we're typically used to, getting on a box, whatever our attack vector may be, and in this case, we're talking about the USB Rubber Ducky, so our initial access is going to be social engineering.
Of course.
It's going to be physical access.
Yep.
Exactly. Keystroke injection, and in a few seconds get the job done. In this case, what we typically try to do is get access, get persistence, meaning 2 is 1, 1 is none, and we want to be able to maintain access to that box remotely, whatever that is. But once we're on that box, we want to escalate privileges because typically what happens is we get onto a machine and we just have the privileges of the user. For example, our editing computer.
You want to do pivoting.
Exactly. I want to be able to like get out of, because that editing computer over there, everything is running as a normal Windows user, not as administrator.
I've noticed when I've tried to change master files on the NUC.
Which is kind of a pain because then Shannon has to come to me and be like, hey, can you log in as admin on the editing machine? Because also try running Adobe Creative software on a machine with limited user access. But, we're trying to do the responsible thing. So,
so you want to be able to
You would have been able to do all of those Adobe apps. You can use this exact technique to bypass that and upgrade your, you can escalate your privileges.
You mean I should pay attention? Just kidding.
Always paying attention.
All right, so what are the steps involved in carrying out this attack?
So basically what we're going to do, and this is nice because it kind of illustrates some common themes with the USB Rubber Ducky, is that we're going to create a stage or payload. Now we've talked about that recently when we were doing exfiltration.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the idea there is basically we're creating a payload that executes some other stuff. It's not all self-contained.
Right.
I love a self-contained payload.
Because then it's less characters.
Yeah, so
nice.
The problem with self-contained or inline payloads is that while it's really nice that they have everything in the one package that they need to do, so they never have to call out to external resources, which in some cases may be blocked.
Right.
The downside is typically they have to be much bigger because they have to contain the entire attack all in one. Now with something like keystroke injection using the USB Rubber Ducky, the bigger it is, the longer it takes. This is a staged payload because when you go ahead and plug your USB Rubber Ducky into the computer, it's going to take about 2.7 seconds.
Nice.
And I can say that.
That's not long at all.
Yeah, that isn't. And
I feel like you could definitely social engineer somebody in that time.
You absolutely could.
To get them like away from their computer.
And I actually get that number here from, and this is whose research I'm actually demonstrating.
Yeah.
I'm demonstrating research from Skitty on the Hak5 forums. It's a 2 to 4 second download and execute UAC bypass exploit. And there's barely anything displayed on the screen.
Cool.
And it happens in about 2 to 3 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into this, but it uses a current method. If you're watching in December 2016, a current method that is susceptible that Windows 10, up to build 1607, as well as Windows 7 and Windows 8.1, etc., to do bypassing UAC by using a really cool method which involves the event viewer. So good stuff. Go and check out the Hak5 forums for more research on that. And hey, thank you to Skitty for DMing me all of this cool stuff. So
Yay.
I'm hoping that we can use this as an example of how some of these payloads work.
Sweet.
So that is our initial attack vector. So I mentioned the stager. So that stager payload that the USB Rubber Ducky is actually typing out is just a quick little PowerShell, which will invisibly in the background download and execute, in this case, a Visual Basic script. And with that Visual Basic script, so that's our second stage. Think about it like an Atlas V rocket, where every time you burn off your fuel and then you jettison that stage because it's done its job, and then the next stage takes over and then gets you to the moon. Obviously.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm a rocket scientist.
Well, Vintage Space, you should watch it. It's good stuff. Stop watching, go watch Vintage Space, then come back. The idea there is that Visual Basic script, our second stage, in the background invisibly downloads an executable and then runs that. So it's a stager to run the stager to run finally our payload.
Okay, got it.
But it makes it so that it executes silently and quickly, and we like it. And it brings up a lot of different kind of techniques, and it brings up setting up our Meterpreter Listener, because in the end, what we're going to do, what are we actually executing?
Yes, what are we executing?
We're getting a reverse shell on a machine, where we're going to be able to escalate privileges out of just that user privileges and get into system privileges, which is kind of like root on Windows.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this, and so that's pretty much what we're doing.
All right, so I think the first thing that we need to do is actually create the payload.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think you are absolutely correct. And you know what? This has been made very simple for us because there is on GitHub, Skitty Tech has actually put up on his GitHub the UAC-D-E-Rubber-Ducky.
Oh, wow.
And this is, complete with the ASCII art and everything.
Impressive.
Right?
He's even got comments. Nice.
I love code that is well documented.
Yes, me too.
There's a video demonstration and everything, So basically, all we have to do is take this over to, and I'm using a virtual machine for this, but I'm going to grab that, and we're going to do a git clone of this, and you're going to see where he's done like a lot of the work for us, which is awesome. So this is going to create our payload for us. So we're going to go ahead and CD over to that Git repository we just cloned, and you'll see we've got a couple of text files.
Oh,
we got the README MD.
In there.
Exactly. So that's what's going to do all the magic. So what we want to do is execute that with Python. So Python uac-duck.py. And then look at this.
Nice.
Walks us right through it. So we can decide to do this with or without the UAC bypass. We obviously want it with, so we'll choose number 2. And then it says, okay, is a blazing fast payload with UAC bypass. Please input the binary payload direct URL. So that right there.
What is that?
That is going to be the URL for the executable that we want this to run.
Oh, okay. So you just stick in a link that ends in with .exe, the one from the Git, right?
Exactly. Well, wherever we end up hosting it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to host mine on my website, which is darren.kitchen.
Nice.
Because that is just cool.
Because it makes sense.
Because that's my name, and it's a TLD now.
Okay, cool.
So what I'll do is, I haven't actually created this binary yet, but we will, and I'm going to host it on darren.kitchen/bob.exe, because I love Metasploit Minute. All right, next thing is, please input your payload save file name. So like update.exe. So this is what it's going to save it on the target machine as.
Ah, okay.
Then it's like, okay, cool, now we're going to need to generate that Visual Basic script, and we want you to paste that raw text somewhere and give us the URL for it. So it's going to be, I don't know, let's see, we haven't actually created it yet. This is where it would be nice if it actually pasted the VBS inline. It doesn't, so let me open a new tab and ls, and you'll notice that this UAC-Duck-Payload.vbs has just been created. So that's what we need to host online. So I'm just going to go ahead and cat UAC-Duck-Payload.vbs, and you see this is the Visual Basic script, and you can see what it does is it creates this object, it uses W shell or WScript shell, and it goes ahead and downloads, you know, darren.kitchen/bob.exe as update.exe. By the way,
oh, that's smart.
There are many methods to do this. This just happens to be one of them. And so, you know, Skitty has gone through the trouble of making this awesome tool that creates all of this stuff for us. So let's run with it.
Yeah.
But I know just because you're immediately being like, oh, but C script if it's disabled and or W script, and yes, there are so many ways to skin a cat. So let's skin this one this way. And now that I've done catting that file and making cat jokes, let's go ahead and upload it. SCP. Let's see, what is it going to be called? I'm going to rename it. I'm going to copy it to, I don't know, ggg.txt, because I'm feeling creative. And I'm going to SCP that over to my username at darren.kitchen and .kitchen in the root of my web server there. All right, so that's uploaded, which means that now I can just go ahead and if I just pull that up again, I can go over to darren.kitchen/ggg.txt.
And it should be there.
And there you go. Okay, so that is going to be the URL. So let me go back here and just paste that in. So it's HTTP, whoops. This could easily be HTTPS. I just did it as HTTP, but whatever. It's just a demo, moving on. Now this will be named as, I don't know, update.vbs. Sounds pretty good. So it went ahead and generated our DuckyScript.txt.
Yay!
So I'm gonna go ahead and ls, and you'll see it right there. I can cat, where is it? It's called DuckyScript. And you'll see it's a very small payload. It just does a delay 750, GUI-R, waits 100 milliseconds, types in this PowerShell, which downloads and executes this .txt as this VBS in the temp directory, hits enter.
That's awesome.
To make this go really quick, I'm just going to go ahead and actually head over to ducktoolkit.com, which if you haven't been to, check it out. This is awesome. There's a payload generator with pre-made scripts for lots of different operating systems where you can just check boxes to decide what exactly you want to do, and then you fill in the blanks.
Okay.
It also has an encoder and a decoder, actually. That's pretty cool. But I'm just going to use the encoder here, paste that in. I'm going to choose United States because that's going to be my target, and generate script, and say OK. And now I've got my inject.bin, and I can go ahead and just save this inject.bin to our NAS, because that sounds like a fantastic place to put it. But I just wanted to demonstrate that, because a lot of people sometimes get hung up on duck encoders, because there's the Python one and the Java one, and if you're just feeling like you want to go to a website. And
are you feeling fancy today?
Feeling fancy?
Okay, so what about that executable that you were working on?
For that, we're going to have to use part of Metasploit. So msfvenom, there's also msfpayload and msfpc, and this is a little bit outside of the scope of our normal realm, so I'm going to point you to Mubix at Metasploit Minute on the Hak5 channel for more on this. But basically what we're going to do is use msfvenom to generate a reverse shell executable.
Cool.
It's going to be using Meterpreter reverse TCP for Windows, and that is what's going to go ahead and execute. Now again, this could be anything. We could be executing calc.exe because we feel special. In this case, I want to get a reverse shell, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Okay. So let's head back over to our Kali box over here, and I'm going to go ahead and just run msfvenom, and we're going to give it an architecture of x86 because that's going to be the machine we're exploiting, and then tell it the platform is, if I can spell, is Windows. And then we're going to go ahead and specify a payload with Hak5. Now that payload is going to be Windows shell and then reverse underscore TCP, just like we normally would. And here we actually specify the options for that payload. This is just the same as if we were running it right through Metasploit. LHOST, and in this case, I don't know the IP address of this machine. Let's find out. If config. This is going to be the IP address that our reverse shell calls back to. So in this case, I'm using the IP address of this Kali box because it's on the same land as our target Windows box over here on the left, just for the demonstration. So I set the LHOST to whatever IP is. So this would be like the, say, the IP address of our Meterpreter machine sitting in the cloud.
Okay, yeah.
Which everybody
Easy
should
enough.
Yeah, you should just have one of those sitting there waiting for a Meterpreter session for whenever.
I definitely have one set up right now. Not really.
You know, Mubix has several, and I wish that we had one when we got a tech support
That's probably
call.
why I don't have one, because Mubix has them.
Right, we just send them to Mubix. Mubix, enjoy a couple of shells. Yeah, we'll talk about how Microsoft called me earlier and how that would have been
so good.
That would have been useful. Anyway, so now we have to specify the port. So this will be the LPORT, and we're going to use the 4444 because we're awesome. And this is going to be an EXE. And then finally, we're going to specify the output as bob.exe because we are awesome.
Okay.
All right, so that's been created. We see our little bob.exe right here.
Yay.
Now I need to go ahead and host that. And remember I said that it was going to be at
Darren.kitchen / what did you call it?
bob.exe.
Okay.
So I'm going to SCP that over to my host. All right, so now that is hosted in the cloud.
Cool. Well, that was easy enough.
Right?
Okay, so now how about the Meterpreter Listener? Because that's important too. Is that just the same as we've done before with the Wi-Fi Pineapple and the Rubber Ducky?
Pretty much. I mean, you've been in the pen test with Hak5 a number of times now to know that that's a very common thing. We want to always get remote access to our networks or our devices to be able to administrate them. Meterpreter is a fantastic tool for that. Don't get me wrong, love me some Netcat. But Meterpreter.
I'm a big fan of the Netcat.
Right? Well, let's go ahead and set up a listener.
Okay.
And so for that, we'll just fire up MSF console. And hopefully we get the cow. We didn't get the cow, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everything is going to fail.
Okay.
Although if we did get cow, it would have been way better. So we're going to use the exploit multi-handler.
That's pretty awesome.
All right, and we can show our options, but really we know that we just need to set our LHOST and our LPORT like from before. So set our LHOST to that IP address we used before. Set the LPORT to 4444, and I'm going to set exit on session to false. That one isn't listed in the show options, but it's a fantastic option that Mubix has explained before on Metasploit Minute that just makes sure that your Meterpreter session doesn't die. If it closes, it'll automatically respawn, which is good because there's nothing worse than like having a shell and then losing it. It's like that time that you saw a spreadsheet on the scammer's desktop and then it just disappeared.
That was so good, man.
No, scamming a scammer is so much fun. Okay, finally, let's go ahead and actually run this as a job. So exploit with the, not exit, exploit TAC-J, so we're going to go ahead and run that as a job.
Okay.
All right, now here's the thing. I forgot to bring a USB Rubber Ducky in here with me. Oh, you know what? There's one right here.
Yeah, just rip open another
We've demonstrated how to do this a number of times. We have that inject.bin that I just saved on the NAS. I just copy that inject.bin file to the MicroSD card of the USB Rubber Ducky, pop that SD card in the duck, plug the duck into the computer, and it executes the keystrokes.
Yeah.
Since the majority of duck development is this lather, rinse, repeat of testing on your target and then
making it better,
finessing it. Yeah. we're just going to go ahead and do this the same way that we would while we were doing research, which is to manually do it ourselves.
Okay, cool.
Because again, we're just emulating keystrokes with USB Rubber Ducky. Because otherwise I don't feel like breaking one out. So in that case, let me just go ahead and take a look at that script, and we'll just type it out manually. So over here, if I cat the DuckyScript, you'll see that it hits, okay, so it hits Windows key R. So I'm going to do Windows key R. Great. Then it types in this PowerShell and hits enter. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that PowerShell. Hang on. If I can use a mouse. And I'll go ahead and here and hit paste. And then I'm going to switch back over to this window so we can see what's going on in Metasploit when I hit enter. And a window pops up and then disappears. And that's it. Okay.
Okay.
The rest of it is happening up in the cloud. So at this point, it's downloading our VBS script. Our VBS script is running invisibly in the background. Our VBS script is downloading the executable. The executable is running. And in just a moment, we now have a shell. Now, it's sending the stage, because remember, this is a stage interpreter, so there's several stages to this. And that's been sent, and we now have session 1 opened. Fantastic. If I run sessions, I can now see that I have one Meterpreter session.
Oh, nice.
I have it from this Windows machine. It's logged in as DK. That's just a regular user. And I've got its IP address and everything else. So let's go ahead.
But it's just a regular user.
It is. And let's go ahead and verify that by interacting with the session.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and do sessions tac I for interact. And then I'm going to choose the session ID number 1. So this session right here. All right. Now I'm at my Meterpreter prompt. I'll go ahead and pull up a shell. All right, great. So now I'm in the command prompt there. If I run a who am I, you'll see I am the user DK, which is just a regular user. So like this user right here doesn't have, that many privileges, right? Well, let's go ahead and exit out of this shell and talk about this one command, which sounds cool, and many people get confused about it. It's called get system.
Get system.
So system is like root.
That sounds, okay. I was going to say it sounds similar to something you can run in, I believe it's Netcat, where it just gives you all the information about the computer.
Right, so that's a Meterpreter command that would give you information about the computer, and get sysinfo or something of that nature. Get system transitions you from whatever privileges you're right now and then steps you into system. If you have system, and system is like root. So if you don't have system, running this isn't magically going to get you root on a system. It's just for switching contexts.
Okay, I see.
But it demonstrates here that we were previously as a regular user, and now I'm going to go ahead and run get system. And it says, boom, got system via technique 1 name pipe impersonation. So we are now in memory /admin. Woohoo!
Wow.
If I run shell again and run who am I am now NT-authority system, which means if I wanted to like copy, I don't know, like I could echo foo into bar.
Dude, that's so cool.
And then I mess up my redirection because I'm on Windows and I'm expecting it to be Linux. But regardless, I am now running as
That's really cool.
root. Yeah, we can do all sorts of cool stuff. Like check this out. I could do, I go back to Meterpreter and run screenshot.
Oh.
And now it's saved a screenshot that I can just take that URL or that UNC, hit Alt F2.
Is that the desktop screenshot?
Yeah, paste that in there, and look at that.
Nice.
So I can now see exactly everything that user
that's awesome.
is doing. Yeah.
You could do all sorts of things with that.
Oh, you can do all, well, and that's where this ends, because it's like, great, got you running as root on that Windows box, and showing you the techniques that are typically used in a scenario of using social engineering and keystroke injection to run a staged payload that grabs network resources, that does a privilege escalation technique to get you a reverse shell as root or system,
That's awesome.
if you will.
And all of this happens just because of that USB Rubber Ducky command that takes like 2 seconds.
It does it,
and a little bit of setup.
It does it because there's a bug in Event Viewer, and and you should definitely go and check out the Hak5 forums, because there's a great write-up by Skiddy over here on this, and go and check out. There's so much to this. Go ahead and check it out, because it's an active development. There's cool stuff on the GitHub. There's going to be links in the show notes if you want to continue contributing to this.
Awesome.
I love seeing these methods, and they're great examples of some of the methodology that's very common in this.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. What was his name?
Skitty.
Skitty.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Hey, why not?
He's playing with the name right there.
I get it, totally. So what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll be back after this quick break. It's time once again to thank our sponsor, Domain.com. And wouldn't you know, here's a badge from Disrupt in San Francisco with Domain.com. So much fun. These guys have been supporting Hak5 for years, and they want you to know that they are the place to go when you've got that brilliant idea and you want to bring it to the internet, because they've got a quick domain discovery system that'll help you find the right domain for you, and their checkout process is super simple. So you're gonna have your website up and online in no time flat. So where Shannon and I go whenever we have brilliant ideas. And get this, the guys over at Domain.com, huge fans of Hak5, they want to hook you up with a coupon code. Get this, get 20% off. All you have to do is use the code HAK5, that spells Hak5, at checkout, and save 20% on your next purchase. And get this, during the holidays, I think it's a fantastic time to do something for people, build them stuff, make them gifts. Domain names, awesome last minute gift idea. And you can tweet Domain.com with your ideas at Domain.com and say, hey, thanks for supporting Hak5 all these years. So when you think domain names, think Domain.com.
We're back, and it's now time for the Technolust photo of the week. Every single week, we ask you guys what tickles your Technolust. You can send us your favorite picture of anything that tickles your Technolust using the hashtag HAK5 for Hak5, and we'll pick a winner every single week. This week's winner is Tactical Kobold, who says, at Hak5, Darren at Snups, just caught my Eevee trying to evolve into a Hackion. She doesn't know she needs a pineapple to evolve. Hak5.
Super cute.
That's so cute. She's surrounded by, what are they?
They look like antennas?
Yeah, they look like
thumbtacks?
antennas, but
I'm
they
not
might
really
not
sure.
be.
Let us
markers?
know. Tweet at us. Super cute. I love it. And
It's so cute.
Eevee's my favorite. So
I think since she needs a pineapple to evolve into a Hackion,
well,
which is
there you go.
adorable. I love the Pokemon.
You just so happen to have a
reference there.
pineapple right here.
Yeah,
so.
we're gonna send you a pineapple nano this week.
So your
and
Eevee can evolve.
There you go. So I will get in touch with you to get your address so we can ship out your prize. Yay!
Awesome stuff. And of course, as you know, we've been hosting a giveaway as well for another contest, which is daily throughout December, celebrating the Wi-Fi pineapple featured in Watch Dogs 2. It's hashtag Hak5 and hashtag Watch Dogs 2. If you're watching this in 2017,
check out some recent entries.
then maybe we'll have some other contests, but this one's just through December.
Yeah, so we actually got a couple of pretty cool entries recently. One on Facebook, it's a pineapple grenade.
I love it, super cute.
Nuke evil PC since 1969. That's really cute. And we got this one.
I love that one. I didn't even I didn't know that meme until this.
It's a meme.
Now I love it.
It's so cute. And the last one I wanted to share with you guys, since it is, you know, the holiday spirit and everything, this is a tactical Santa, like a sock.
Wow, super cute.
Like one of those, what are they called?
Yeah, it's
the
called
ones that you hang
a stocking.
from your fireplace? Yeah, stocking.
Yes, stocking.
It's a tactical stocking.
It's a tactical stocking.
Tactical.
Yes,
Blech.
indeed.
Can't talk anymore.
Oh, we are so done with 2016. We have finished all of the talks. We have said all the words. We are out of them. And we can't wait to usher in at a very exciting 2017.
I know.
So let's put the last stickers for 2017. It's 16. I know what year it is on the wall.
Okay, so I'm bringing this one back. We got a tweet explaining what this means. So I don't know who it came from, but they are from the Netherlands, and they said, thanks, you are awesome. And it turns out that this means the bier routine, and I apologize, I cannot speak this language. It's French for beer, interior build, interior brew.
Okay.
So it must be a brewery, like a beer brewery.
We love beer.
I love beer. So I'm down with that. And then he, who was it that sent this? Lex _ Mitch Detwitz. Mitch Detwitz. He sent us a message saying, Pierre bière is French for beer, Routen interior build, interbrew is interior brew. And then he also sent a video explaining more about it, so cool. And you guys can send us stickers as well over to hak5.org/address. Anything that has to do with like your local cool things or your hacker places or whatever you want.
Good stuff. Hak5.org/address. I think they got it. They figured it out.
They figured it out.
So I'm very excited about this one because this is a cool package.
This is a cool package.
I'll go ahead and read this. And so we have a letter here.
I can read it too. You want me to read it?
Hey, Darren and Shannon, I wanted to send you something to congratulate you on your podcast award. Oh, right. We won a podcast award in 2016. How awesome is that? Right? And so, you guys are awesome. And Diamond Club loves you. We love you.
Look at these.
Thank you for everything. Oh, how cool is that?
These are so cool. They're magnetic.
Oh,
They're
dude. Okay. We are going to find some Velcro or something, and we are getting them up on the set. Does it stick?
There's a place.
Oh, we'll find a way.
They can stick on the sides.
Yeah, but they're not on screen. I want to. Anyway, we'll find a way. We have the technology.
Now it's on screen. Kinda.
Awesome. Kinda. Okay. Good deal. Hey, this has been a really fun episode. I am looking forward to all the fun stuff that we have in store for next year, including ShmooCon. So if you guys are in Washington, D.C. for ShmooCon, come on out. I'm sure we're going to be having good times, possibly a meetup.
That'll be so fun.
We will indeed have a pen test with Hak5.
Yay!
At Nova Labs. So sign up.
Make sure to sign up as soon as possible, because this is the first one on the East Coast, so I have a feeling that it's going to sell out, so get your tickets.
Similar to the ShmooCon. So pentestwithhak5.com, and we just can't wait to see you guys over on the East Coast. And I'm going to CES, so if you guys want to hang out at my Tech Thing meetup with Patrick Norton, we're going to be doing that, and you can find out details over at facebook.com/techthing for that. So that will be January 6th, I believe, is the meetup. Awesome. And if you're wondering about that Metasploit Minute thing that I had mentioned, if you're new to this, Hak5 has all sorts of cool shows within the family, and so you can find all of them, like Tech Thing and ThreatWire, over at hak5.org or on youtube.com/hak5. With that, I'm Darren Kitchen.
I'm Shannon Morse.
We hope you guys have a fantastic new year. Trust your Technolust.
Yes.
Justin.
Go.
Speed.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Norton, the destroyer of podcasts. Okay, doing a pickup on you?
Pickup on you.
But now it's out of context. You got beer on the set. They're going to know the continuity is broken, Shannon.
No, pick it up
ruining
on my
the episode.
single.
All right.
There you go.
Pikachu.
Oh, you ruined that for me.
I ruined it for everybody, apparently. My bad.
3, 2, 1.
Like that?
Being weird. I feel like I should hold something, but I can't. How am I supposed to hold a privilege escalation?